So this week we are talking about faith over fear, having faith over fear, the season of coming out of isolation and hiding. And I'm currently in this season right now. I have been in my quote unquote wilderness isolation hiding season for about 2.5 years now since I graduated with my first degree. And at first, I fought it so hard. I fought it tooth and nail. I hated it. I felt like nobody was seeing me as somebody who desires marriage. I felt like no man was seeing me. I felt invisible. I felt insecure. I felt ugly because I felt like nobody's seeing me, and I felt like everybody else was living their life. They were partying and traveling and making career moves and all of this stuff, and I felt like time was passing me by and I was stuck in a place of, honestly, at the time, wholeheartedly nothingness. To me, it felt like nothing was moving, nothing was happening. And this, honestly, my whole 2023 was this. And I had to find things to make that year, to make the days pass, honestly, to keep my mind busy. I wasn't in school. I didn't have a job. I couldn't get a job. That's a whole story for another day, a whole testimony. Um, but I just felt like nothing was happening. And this honestly was one of the hardest seasons of my life ever. But for some reason, when the clock struck 12 into 2024, everything in my spirit flipped. And I knew something was coming. I knew something was changing. I knew something in the spirit was moving. And the first half of 2024, I got comfortable in it. I got comfortable in my wilderness isolation hiding season. I'm like, God, I can do this. I can work out, eat right, get in my word, go home, and be comfortable. I was I was happy. It is so funny because I actually made a TikTok about it. Like, I fought this season so hard and now I just want to, you know, dwell in it. Now I'm happy. Now I'm okay. And it's just like God to push you out of a season as soon as you get comfortable with it. Because now he's pushing me out of this season. I'm like, Lord, no. I'm like, Lord, no. I have now developed a fear of being perceived. Now, prior to coming to Christ, I've never had this fear before, ever. I was posting on social media multiple times a day, like every day. Never had a fear of being perceived. I actually wanted to be perceived. I wanted to be known. I wanted to be seen. And now I'm like, Lord, if it be your will, I will. I will go to work, go home every single day. Nobody got to worry about me. If it was not for God and the calling that He has placed on my life, I would be perfectly content deleting all social medias except maybe TikTok and just living my life privately. Like, my husband, my kids, we own a house and some land somewhere perfectly fine by ourselves. If it was not for the call that God had on my life. And this fear, like, I had to talk through with like my best friend and my mama about, like, where did it come from? What is it about? And I'm noticing that the fear is a fear of failure. It's a fear of putting myself out there for everybody to see and then I fail. And I also talked to my sister about it. And one thing that she said that really blew my mind, it was so simple. But I was talking to her about um this event that I'm hosting. It's a Bible study. And it's my first time really putting myself out there as a Christian woman on Instagram. I do it a lot on TikTok, but this is my first thing on Instagram, really rebranding myself and allowing the world to see me as the woman that God called me to be and not the worldly me. And so when I posted the flyer about this event, I was so scared, y'all. Like, my throat was in my stomach and my stomach was in my butt. I was terrified to post this flyer. And when I talked to my sister about it, she basically told me like fear is a natural response, especially doing something for God. And she also asked me like, "Do you feel like God is telling you to do this?" And I'm like, "Yes." And then that's when she said, "Fear is a natural response." And it completely is. And you just have to know that fear is something that you are going to feel when you are stepping out on something God told you to do. It's natural. You just can't let it overtake you. You have to just throw yourself in a deep end. And she also said, especially doing something for God. And that hit me too, because when you are in the world and you promote whatever it is that you promote, things of the world are going to like the other things of the world. But when you step out and you do something for God, it is it's obvious that you do get less attention. You get less views, you get less likes, you get less reposts and reshares, comments. And a lot of times you feel judged when you come out as this Christian woman or godly woman because of your past. And I struggle with that a lot. Like, will people see me and see my past instead of see me and see who I am now and who God created me to be? And all of that is stuff that honestly you just have to work out with God, because at the end of the day it's between you and God. And what other people think of you is not your business. The only thing that matters is that when you close your eyes for the last time and you meet your creator, that he can hold you accountable and be proud of you for the things that you did do for him, the souls that you did save. And so, even though I'm still working through that a little bit, I would rather do this and get less likes, less comments, less claps, less views, than to be the worldly me and do the things that I was doing that when I was doing it in the world. I'd rather have life with God any day. Any day. I'd rather be able to say that, God, I did what you told me to, when it's all said and done. Because one thing about it, nothing but what you do for God will stand. Nothing but what you do for God will stand. When you take your last breath, the parties you went to, the people you dated, none of it will matter except what you did for God. What you do for God is eternal. And so, yeah, I didn't even mean to go that way, but that's the way that it went. But yeah, so if you need more like reference for like what I'm talking about, if you watch In Totality podcast, um the one featuring Preston Morrison, I think it will give you a little bit more insight into like the fear and stuff, because this is actually what I kind of coined it off of, this episode off of, what made me realize like what I needed to speak about, what I wanted to speak about. And another thing, perfectionism, which is also rooted in insecurity. Let's make that clear. If you are a perfectionist, somewhere in your little mind, you are insecure about something. Perfectionism is it's a mask. It's a way to mask yourself when you put yourself out there so people can't critique you. They can't talk about you. They can't find fault within you. But the truth of the matter is, you are human. You're going to have faults. You're not going to be perfect. And honestly, being perfect, trying to be perfect, and perfectionism keep you from stepping out on what God called you to do. And it keeps you stagnant. I literally, I used to feel like I have to have my nails done, my hair done, my toes done, a brand new outfit to do anything, to record a video, anything. And it's nothing but the grace of God that I'm literally, my hair is not done, my nails not done, nothing is done. I threw on a day-to-day makeup face the clothes that I been just had on, and I recorded this video because perfectionism and the fear of failure has held me back too long. And I know it's time to give birth to what God told me to do. Anyways, okay. And so stepping into a whole nother season, coming out of hiding, coming out of isolation, God told me that this is my in-between season. And knowing how hard I fought my last season, like the wilderness season, I really just want this season to be stewarded well. Like, I don't want to get to my next season and feel like I didn't do what God told me to do in this season. I was still fighting it. I was still trying so hard to, I don't even know what, like, just wanting my way, I guess. Just being like a little kid, spiritually, immature, spiritually. And I just don't want that for this season of my life. Like, I want to know when I look back on this season that I did it, that I did everything that God called me to, that I was content in every circumstance. And I want that for y'all too. Like, I want y'all to look back on the season that y'all are in right now and say, no matter the circumstance, no matter what he told you to do, that you swallowed your pride, that you allow the Holy Spirit to strengthen you, to jump in the deep end, to go after what God called you to, and to know that, especially with people who struggle with perfectionism, you will not know everything from the beginning. You have to take that first step. You walk by faith, not by sight. You have to take that first step. And after that first step, God will open doors to the next. You won't know what's coming after that first step. Some doors can't open till the first door is open. So I say this to say, everybody who is watching, who is listening, who is struggling with taking that first step of faith, that first leap of faith, baby, just jump off the deep end. Just jump. Just jump. And I promise, God will catch you at the bottom. He will not let you fall. He will not let you fail. Like they said in the In Totality podcast, the only way you fail is to rebel. Is to completely not do what God told you to. So I hope this little snippet of my story inspires y'all to get up and chase it, because that you have that dream for a reason. God put that dream in your heart for a reason. The woman that you seeing when you lay down and go to sleep at night, when you trying to figure out who you want to be and the best version of yourself, all of that is wrapped up in a cute little bow on the other side of the fear of whatever God is telling you to do. That woman is on the other side of it, that life is on the other side of it, that husband is on the other side of it, and it is up to you to take that first step. And honestly, if you just take that first step, don't even think of, because the anxiety is coming from the future things. Just take that first step. Don't even worry about anything else. Take the first step. I promise, God will never leave you or forsake you. He got you. He gonna catch you at the bottom of it. Take that leap of faith. And that is all I have for y'all today. I am trying to upload a video every week, and I will keep y'all updated on what day of the week. But until then, I'll see you later.